All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Gaming Compute. Here we talk a lot about side hustles and ways that you can make income, start making income, just topics related to finances mostly. And in today's short episode, I'm just going to be talking about some resources that might be available that people might not know about. It might not be available for 100% of people, but right now with the job market as it is, a lot of people are facing difficulties with having to move, with housing getting shut down, with their housing sites getting, either renewed leases or other forms of maybe not even a renewed lease, but a lease where they're going to be paying more money, or other situations with jobs, being forced to go into a different job because of higher pay. In San Diego, something that's very common that I'm noticing is that, in order to apply for an apartment for any site, if you're going through an actual company and not maybe just through like a mom and pop, like somebody renting out a room casually, a lot of times they're requiring a 650 or more credit score. Again, studios range usually around $1,500 at the moment. A lot of people are getting, kicked out. There's gentrification. They're basically shutting down a lot of the smaller apartment complexes in some of the smaller cities and demolishing them and gonna build high-rise luxury apartments. And this is forcing people out of, being able to afford anything. Because like I mentioned before, if you need to make 3 times the rent of $1,500, that means you need to be taking home $4,500. Most people aren't making that amount of money. And that's just for like a studio. And then to have a 650 credit score. So those are things that people are really looking at as challenges, because if you're forced to move, it's one thing if your rent is going up but you can keep your place. It's another problem if I'm still saying that's bad, that's still bad, but it's another thing if you're forced to move and you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like maybe you're forced to move but you can't quite do exactly what it is that you need to do to get out of the place to secure an additional house, or get the ball rolling on a new apartment. So you're kind of forced to stay there, right? These aren't good things. It's not the fault of the residents. I'm not putting blame on them. I'm just shining light on the difficulty of the situation that a lot of people haven't planned or haven't thought that they would need to move anytime soon. And so when they're being faced with these sudden challenges of being told you have 6 months to leave, you have a couple months to leave, and then they don't qualify to apply anywhere else, it might take about a year and a half to get that credit score up if you're in the 500 range. And so one thing that I was notified about is that some companies, especially if you have part of your benefits for your company of mental health support of some kind, some of those companies sometimes, if you get access to mental health support, those companies might have a type of financial case management or financial financial advisor for free. You might also, through your retirement, like if you use Transamerica or like another company like that for like 403b or 401k or some kind of retirement plan, you might also have access to financial advisors through that. Money Management International is a site that you can get free consultation on too, for people who don't have that. But I haven't talked to them in a while as far as that resource is concerned. But you might be able to find out, what's the fastest way to raise your credit, and do they have access to lists for you that you can try to search and look to get a foot in the door. Because a lot of these companies, they get the access to the resources right away. Now, again, it's not a fast process. Usually it can take multiple months, but just doing what you can to get yourself on the list or access to support finding new housing regardless of your credit score. Maybe the deposit might be more, so you might have to save up money for that extra deposit price. You might be able, if you're in good standing with your rent, where you currently rent, you might be able to have people vouch for you and find a way to get your credit score up a little bit by reflecting good standing payments, and definitely studying what it takes to improve your credit. That's going to help you a lot too. I know these are hard times for people. I don't really like to put a bunch of negative news out there. I mean, everywhere I look, it's just negative. Like, I am actively, always trying to avoid the negative news. And, even when I log in for work using Microsoft Edge, I see the news updates of what's happening where, half the stuff on television, I mean, other than sports or movies and music videos and stuff, that's kind of mostly all I can really tolerate. And especially the ads, the advertising, they're always negative news. It's all just so much negativity. And I usually follow financial news as well, and it's even getting really challenging to follow it because everybody's panicking about the cars, about housing, about food, about everything. And it's getting to a point where it's I don't even really want to follow up on the finance news with crypto and the stock market and people's retirement funds and healthcare insurance, food banks, shelter programs for the homeless. I mean, there's so much going on right now that's just not really getting resolved. And so anytime that I can try to find or hear about access to resources, I definitely want to post about that, because I feel like I do see people in my line of work, I do see people through my job actually getting placed. It just takes a while. It's not like it's for the first week they sign up for something, then everything works out. Usually it's a process. And so that's definitely something to keep in mind. But yeah, I hope that's helpful. I'm gonna try to post as much helpful info as I can find out as I figure it out, because I think that might be of more use to people than hearing all the, okay, what's scary, what's gonna happen. See what access to resources you have through your job. A lot of times they're not gonna announce it to you, but you usually are getting benefits, and you're getting money taken out of your checks. And if you have healthcare insurance, or other types of perks through your job related to mental health services, a lot of mental health services do have a case management option, and those types of options are what's going to usually help people with the resources in the community that could possibly get you a foot in to where to apply, what new facilities are opening within your income range, what types of sites can help you build your credit fast. You can get into a lot of free programs to try to get as much free resources as possible. And your job usually isn't going to tell you that it exists. And if they do, they usually don't tell you everything. So definitely check to see if your job has something free like that for you. But with that, I'm going to sign off, and thanks for listening.